Hello, this is this is the TPS 1107 Theater in Society. And I just wanted to say hello and welcome to this week. This week is actually what is theater. So we've talked about performance, we've talked about art, we've talked about culture, and it all culminates in this because you've had a chance to see some performance, but then in November you'll actually see a theatrical performance. So you can get a better hang of what is theater because you've read a play now, and now you're going to understand a little bit more about the history of Western theater before you'll read your next play, which is a Greek play. So it is a play that will get you a better understanding of the beginnings of theater. And it's really interesting, actually. I think most of my students really enjoy that play, Lysistrata. So this week, if you haven't already, you should have completed, those of you that went to see Daughter of a Cuban Revolutionary, and there was a discussion board that I have given you plenty of time to do. And if you were not able to see that play or do that discussion board or do it correctly, whatever the case may be, then you can see this week 45 plays for 45 presidents. It sounds super interesting. It sounds very fun, and that discussion board will be open. You must do that discussion board if you didn't do the last one. Otherwise, you'll get a 0 for the first required event. And this is also a reminder, I know a couple of you might be interested in seeing that play even though you did see Daughter of a Cuban Revolutionary, and that's fine. Make sure that you email me that you would like to see this as extra credit. I've given a couple of extra credit opportunities already. There was something at the Alliance Theater, and then there was a talk back with Daughter of a Cuban Revolutionary. And I had a couple of people who were interested in both of those things, but what people fail to realize is that you have to email me first, and then I will tell you how to do the extra credit. You just don't get extra credit because I know that you went. So there's something you have to do, and I don't give that to everybody because I don't need people being confused as to what it is. It is for extra credit. You have to ask me, I want to see this for extra credit, and then I'll show you how to get it. Not hard, super easy, and I highly recommend, because why not have a little extra boost in your grade right now, because you won't get extra credit at the end of the semester. And I think it's just fun to see as much theater as possible while you have an opportunity. But those of you that are required to see it, and even if you want to see it for extra credit, again, let me remind you that it will sell out. So if you're required to see it, there will be no excuse for you not seeing it because you've had plenty of time to get that ticket. So this week, after you do the module on what is theater, then you're going to complete your first discussion board for this class. And I've actually cut down on the discussion boards because we have so many in the class, which is good for you and I both. But I think the discussion boards are very helpful because we don't get a chance to see each other in class, so we can kind of chit chat that way. And most of you have been able to discuss with the Daughter of a Cuban Revolutionary, but again, this one is super important because everybody will be involved, and since everyone wasn't able to see that, some of us have not contributed to a discussion board yet. So the good thing is that most of you already did that one, so you already have an idea of how the discussion board works. You'll go into the discussion board for theater, and you will read the instructions, and then you will complete the discussion board. It is not nearly as hard as the one for Daughter of a Cuban Revolutionary, your first required event, because it is not a required event. That one was worth, or will be worth, 75 points. This one is only worth 25 points, and you only have 3. So, which brings me to, this is the first one, and then we'll do the second one a little later. The third one is already open because the third one gets you ready for your final. And I think that now is a good time for you to start thinking about what you want to do for your final. Your final will be you recreating a folk tale, and we found this to be really beneficiary for you all because this is a global discussion, and that's what this class is about, because it is a general ed course. and because we discuss culture, and this is the year of Cuba. Now what I've found is I usually allow students to do a folktale for the year of. Well, since this is the year of Cuba, it's made it a little bit more difficult because Cuba doesn't have that many folktales. So if you find a Cuban folktale, then if you're the first one to submit it, you can have it. But the trick with us submitting folktales, which like I said, that third discussion board is open and you'll get an extra point if you submit early, because the first people to submit get to choose what they want. Everybody's going to have a different discussion board, a different folktale, and I think it's good for you all to have different folktales so we don't see 5 accounts of the same story. For instance, if it were Hansel and Gretel, which is a German folktale, so no one should use, then I don't want to see 5 different versions of Hansel and Gretel. But what I am allowing you to do, because Cuba is full of so many different cultures, you may use a Cuban folktale, a North American native folktale, a South American folktale, or a Cuban folktale, I think I said that one already, or an African folktale, because there's Afro-Cuban is a huge subculture in the Cuban culture. Or, so I'm giving you 5 options. There should be lots of different interesting things. A Spanish from Spain folktale. That's the only European folktale you're allowed to use if it's actually a Spanish folktale. So have at it, have fun, have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.